Isn't that beautiful? And that's heavy. That is full of honey and heavy. Well, good morning, everybody. It's the first part of September, and it's time to start getting the honey off of the beehives. So come along with me, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I go along. All right, here we are at the beehives. Goal today is to start the process of getting the honey supers off of these hives. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 honey supers that should all be full of honey at this point. There's a problem. All of these boxes are full of bees. I don't want to take 6 boxes full of bees into the house to start extracting honey. So we've got to get all the bees out of these boxes before we get them in the house. Now, I've tried some different methods. In fact, the last few years, what I've done is I've taken each frame out individually, wiped the bees off, put them into an empty super, into an empty box, come back, get the next frame, wipe the bees off, put it in one at a time. So that would take a long time. We've got a total of 60 frames, 10 in each box. I don't want to do that. Last year, I tried a new method that I hadn't tried before. It worked really well, and that is called bee escapes. Got a couple of bee escapes right here, and I'll just show you. So this is a bee escape. It's kind of a maze for the bees. What I'll do is I'll set this on beneath the boxes like this. It's a hole that the bees can go down through, down into this maze. It's covered with a screen, and there's exits on the corners. The bees are able to find their way out, but they're not able to turn that corner and get back in. All the bees that are up in the supers are foragers. They've been bringing nectar up into the supers to deposit them to make them into honey. And so the next thing that they do then is they leave the supers to go back down and go forage for more nectar. So as they go down through here, out through the maze, they're not able to find their way back in. So this is one. I have another one. It's a different variety. Same principle. Bees go down through here, find their way out, and then they can't find their way back in. I tried this one last year. I didn't have very much success with this one. The other one was more successful for me. But I'll try this one again this year, and we'll see how we do. These bee escapes do a good job of clearing the bees out of 2 honey supers, 2 boxes. If you try to do more than that, the bees just don't all get out. So I will put these on underneath the top 2 boxes. I'll leave that for a couple of days, and then we'll come back and they should be all cleared out by then. And then we'll put the bee escapes on underneath the 3rd box, give that a couple of days, and then we'll have all of our 6 supers clear of bees, ready to extract honey. So this time of year, bees are a little crankier. I shouldn't say cranky. It's not their fault. The bees are a little more protective of their hives. There's less nectar for them to forage, and that just makes them a little restless, I guess you could say. I'm going to pull out a frame here so we can just look and see what these are like when they are all capped and ready to harvest. There. That is this is a beautiful frame of honey. Look at this, completely capped over on both sides. Isn't that beautiful? And that's heavy. That is full of honey and heavy. Once these supers are all full of honey, that's all ripe and capped and ready to go, each medium super like this will weigh about 35 pounds. So over here, I'll put this this yellow bee escape right like this. Those bees that are in the supers over here, head down through there, out through those holes. And these supers should clear right out. All right, we've got this hive back together with the bee escape down in there. Move to the other side. All right, let's just take a look here at this frame right here. Here again. Isn't that pretty? Now when I go to harvest this honey off of the frames in our extractor, we'll have to cut all of this wax off of the top, put it in the extractor, spin all the honey out, and catch it in a bucket. So it's looking good. Okay, this bee escape on, make sure it goes the right direction so the bees can find their way out and not back in. So there we are, we got them all put back together. Today is Saturday morning, so I guess I'll be out here on Monday to take these supers off. They should be all empty of bees, but we will follow up then. Don't go away. That's coming up in just a couple of seconds. All right, we're back. It's actually 3 days later. I came back after 2 days and peeked in the hives. They were not quite as empty as I wanted them to be, so I gave them another day. Also, if there are any gaps up here above the bee escapes that bees can get into, it's not going to work, okay? Because they're going to be coming and going, and you're going to always have bees up here. So I had some gaps, and so I swapped the two covers around, trying to close up the gaps, but this hive just didn't ever close off the gaps very well. So I put some duct tape around where the gaps were just to seal it off so that no more bees could get up into the supers. So I'm hoping that today we're going to be good. We're going to be empty, but we'll see. And get this tape off here. There are still bees on this hive. This is the hive with that yellow plastic bee escape that yeah. And this one's full of bees. It didn't work well last year. I thought I'd give it a try this year, and it did not work. So I would not recommend one of those plastic circular yellow bee escapes that I bought off Amazon. Don't get that. We're going to do some rearranging, I guess, and we'll ultimately put the triangular bee escape over here. Okay, let's see what we've got over here. And over here, we do still have some bees. Yeah. But not a lot. Not a lot of bees. Let's just pull out a frame so we can get an idea of how many bees are on the frames. Up here. So you can see we've got a few bees up here, probably about 10 bees on each frame, so that's not a lot. We can work with that. You see all these bees that were trying to get back up into the supers got stuck underneath there, so we'll knock these off. Get down there. Okay, here we are. Last day to get the last 2 supers off of the last hive. It's not an ideal time. We've got a little bit of a storm blowing in maybe. It's windy. It's getting evening. It's cloudy, which means all the bees are at home instead of out working. So it makes the beehive a little more crowded. But we are going to need to get these supers off today anyway. So we're going to start with a little smoke. And there you can see all of those bees that came down out of the supers and couldn't find their way back in. So I'm glad that all these bees were not up in the honey supers. Okay, we've got all the supers off. Next thing to do is extract the honey. All right, here's our stack of honey supers that we got off of the hives, 6 of them. Each medium super should weigh between 35 and 40 pounds. If we go on the low end and say that each one weighs 35 pounds, that is a total of 210 pounds, and each gallon of honey should weigh approximately 12 pounds. So 210 pounds at 12 pounds per gallon could give us about 17.5 gallons of honey. Not too bad for 2 hives that started out as 3-pound packages this spring. So keep checking back to the channel, because after we get this honey harvested and extracted out of the honeycomb, I'll put up a video showing that process as well. So thanks for coming along with us today, and we'll see you next time.